Thousands of years ago, humans built civilizations that developed socially, economically and scientifically. They left their mark in history with great architectural works. Among them, we cannot mention the 7 wonders of the ancient world. 7 works were considered the most beautiful, most impressive and most magnificent. In today's video, we will find out the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The 7 wonders of the ancient world is an enumeration of ancient architecture and sculpture, created by a Greek poet named Antipater in the 2nd century BC. So this list is based on a vision of the Greeks, based on their understanding of what they considered great, the civilization of mankind at the time. All 7 wonders of the ancient world come around Mediterranean region. Great Pyramid of Giza.
The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest Egyptian pyramid and the tomb of 4th dynasty pharaoh Khufu. Built in the early 26th century BC during a period of around 27 years, the pyramid is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the only one to remain largely intact. It is the most famous monument of the Giza Pyramid Complex, in the Pyramid Fields of the Memphis and its necropolis UNESCO World Heritage Site, in Giza, Egypt. It is at the most northern end of the line of the 3 pyramids of Giza. Initially standing at 146.6 meters, the Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for more than 3,800 years. Over time, most of the smooth white limestone casing was removed, which lowered the pyramid's height to the present 138.5 meters. What is seen today is the underlying core structure. The base was measured to be about 230.3 meters square, giving a volume of roughly 2.6 million cubic meters, which includes an internal hillock. The Great Pyramid was built by quarrying an estimated 2.3 million large blocks weighing 6 million tons in total. The majority of stones are not uniform in size or shape and are only roughly dressed. The outside layers were bound together by mortar. Primarily local limestone from the Giza Plateau was used. Other blocks were imported by boat down the Nile. They were made so perfectly that not even a hair, a blade or a thin sheet of paper can fit in the gap between the 2 rocks. It was even calculated to withstand thermal expansion and earthquakes. Although it was hot in the desert, the interior temperature of the pyramid was always maintained at 20 degrees Celsius, exactly the same as the average temperature on Earth. Inside it could store things for a very long time. Experts conducted experiments where they placed raw milk, fresh vegetables and fruits inside the pyramid. After a month, their color and taste had not changed too much. This is why these pyramids were used to hold the bodies of ancient Egyptian kings. Today, with a lot of advanced technological equipment, scientists still cannot explain why ancient people with rudimentary tools could build works with almost absolute accuracy. Thus, these 3 pyramids lie in a straight line and face north.
Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world listed by Hellenic culture. They were described as a remarkable feat of engineering with an ascending series of tiered gardens containing a wide variety of trees, shrubs, and vines, resembling a large green mountain constructed of mud bricks. It was said to have been built in the ancient city of Babylon, near present-day Hilla, Babel province, in Iraq. According to one legend, the Hanging Gardens were built alongside a grand palace known as the Marvel of Mankind, by the Neo-Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled between 605 and 562 BC, for his Median wife, Queen Amytis, because she missed the green hills and valleys of her homeland. It was hailed as an outstanding achievement in terms of construction, with a series of terraced gardens filled with plants ranging from vines to diverse shrubs, forming a large green mountain. Hanging Garden consists of 4 floors, one floor, 25 meters from the other floor, connected by quite wide stairs. The bottom floor has an area of 60,516 square meters, located above a system of 625 columns. The higher you go, the smaller the number of columns and the smaller the floor area. On the top floor, there were only 169 columns left and the area was only half the size of the first floor. The floor of the floors is made of boulders, tiled and filled with a layer of fertile soil. Above in the Hanging Garden of Babylon, there were all kinds of fragrant flowers, strange grass, and rare plants brought from the lands that the king came and conquered. To water the entire garden and flowers, the slaves of that time had to take turns bringing water from the river to the garden area. Water was taken from 3 wells with rotating hydraulic machines. The water bucket system was raised high, running along gentle grooves to irrigate the entire garden. It was called a machine, but the entire engine was powered by muscle. Because the garden follows the direction of the wind, the fragrance spreads far away. The Hanging Gardens are the only one of the 7 wonders for which the location has not been definitively established. There are no extant Babylonian texts that mention the gardens, and no definitive archaeological evidence has been found in Babylon. 3 theories have been suggested to account for this. Firstly, that they were purely mythical, and the descriptions found in ancient Greek and Roman writings represented a romantic ideal of an Eastern garden. Secondly, that they existed in Babylon, but were destroyed sometime around the 1st century AD. And thirdly, that the legend refers to a well-documented garden that the Assyrian king Sennacherib, 704 to 681 BC, built in his capital city of Nineveh on the river Tigris, near the modern city of Mosul.
Statue of Zeus at Olympia.
The next wonder is the statue of Zeus located in the ancient Greek city of Olympia. The statue was built to honor the world's first Olympic Games in the city of Olympia. Zeus is the sky and thunder god in ancient Greek religion, who rules as king of the gods of Mount Olympus. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was a giant seated figure, about 12.4 meters tall, made by the Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BC at the sanctuary of Olympia, Greece, and erected in the temple of Zeus there. The geographer Strabo noted early in the 1st century BC that the statue gave the impression that if Zeus arose and stood erect he would unroof the temple. The statue was crowned with a sculpted wreath of olive sprays and wore a gilded robe made from glass and carved with animals and lilies. Lilies. Zeus' right hand holds a winged statue of victory. This is a symbol of victory in the Olympic Games. On the left hand is a staff with an eagle attached, symbolizing the supreme power of the god Zeus. The throne featured painted figures and wrought images and was decorated with gold, precious stones, ebony, and ivory. Zeus' golden sandals rested upon a footstool decorated with an Amazonomachy in relief. By 393 BC under Rome, when the king approved the growth of Christianity in Greece, the Olympic sports competitions also were suspended for a similar period of time-long counterpart. The cult of Zeus also faded into the past, and less than 100 years later, a terrible fire ravaged the city of Olympia and destroyed the statue. Today in Olympia, only ruins of the ruined temple remain. Unfortunately, the statue of Zeus does not have any copies, so all we know about the statue is only through ancient records.
Temple of Artemis.
The Temple of Artemis was located near the ancient city of Ephesus, about 75 kilometers south from the modern port city of Izmir, in Turkey. Temple of Artemis was built around 550 BC. Artemis is the daughter of Zeus and Leto. She was very beautiful, good at hunting and embodies loyalty and virginity in love. The temple was built almost entirely of marble. Temple of Artemis has a length of 114 meters, a width of nearly 55 meters and has 127 glossy white marble columns supporting the temple roof. It was estimated that each stone pillar was a block of marble over 18 meters long and weighs nearly 100 tons. The temple was associated with the famous historical temple burning story. In 356 BC, a man named Herostratus snuck into the temple and set it on fire. At first glance, it seemed absurd since the temple was mainly made of marble. How could it be burned so easily? However, the perpetrator snuck over to guard the temple, put oil-soaked cloths around some wooden beams, and set fire to them. Even more surprising when he admitted to burning the temple because he wanted his name to be famous all over the world and be remembered forever. After the fire, the white marble temple was almost completely destroyed. Only the statue of the goddess Artemis remained intact and the people of the city, when they saw that the statue of the goddess was not destroyed, they believed that this was the will of the venerable god to continue to worship, so they rebuilt the new temple of Artemis. The new temple was even taller, more luxurious, bigger than the old one. It stood until the Goths plundered the city between 260 and 270 BC. Today, the Temple of Artemis remains only ruins of standing stone pillars, which is a sad thing for the fate of one of the great works, a wonder of the ancient world.
Mausoleum at Halicarnassus.
The fifth wonder mentioned is the Mausoleum of Mausolus, which is known as the most perfect mausoleum in ancient times. Mausolus's tomb is also a name in the list of 7 wonders of the ancient world. This mausoleum was built around 350 BC and is named of Mausolus, an Anatolian from Caria and a satrap in the Achaemenid Empire, and his wife. According to many historical documents, the mausoleum was the work that the wife of the Mausolus built after his death to show her love and tribute to him. The tomb had an extremely massive design. The size far exceeds the size of the tombs of the time, with an area of up to 1,200 square meters and nearly 45 meters high. The mausoleum was a rectangular block, whereby the north and south sides were shorter than the east and west sides. The facade of the mausoleum was covered with white marble and limestone, and the inside was used with beautiful green volcanic stone. The amount of stone used in this work was extremely large, not to mention the costs of mining, transportation, cutting and processing. The mausoleum was located on a circular platform measuring 38 by 32 meters. Above this round platform was a series of columns that surround all 4 sides. The top of the mausoleum was a pyramid with 24 steps, and a statue of a chariot pulled by a total of 4 horses was placed on the top of the pyramid. The Mausoleum of Mausolus had also disappeared with time, like most other ancient miracles. All we know at this time is that there were invading armies in the 15th and 16th centuries, who went in to burn the stone to make lime, as well as used the stone of this building to reinforce their stronghold. It was they who came to the room where Mausolus's body lay at the bottom of the building, and unfortunately all the possessions in the mausoleum were stolen, and today only a few details are recorded.
Colossus of Rhodes.
The 6th of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the statue of the Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes was a statue of the Greek sun god Helios, erected in the city of Rhodes, on the Greek island of the same name, by Chares of Lindos in 280 BC. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, it was constructed to celebrate the successful defense of Rhodes city against an attack by Demetrius Poliorcetes, who had besieged it for a year with a large army and navy. After defeating the invaders, the people of Rhodes Island left behind all of their weapons and burned them to make a statue of the sun god. The interior of the structure, which stood on a 15-meter-high white marble pedestal near the Rhodes harbor entrance, was then filled with stone blocks as construction progressed. The statue itself was about 32 meters tall. It took them 12 years to complete the statue, but sadly, the statue only lasted for only 54 years. In 226 BC, an earthquake caused significant damage to large portions of Rhodes, including the harbor and commercial buildings, which were destroyed. The statue snapped at the knees and fell over onto land. Ptolemy III offered to pay for the reconstruction of the statue, but the Oracle of Delphi made the Rhodians fear that they had offended Helios, and they declined to rebuild it. Today, there have been many groups of experts from Europe to Greece, Italy and Spain initiated projects to rebuild the sun god statue with their outstanding standards in the 21st century. They wanted to build a statue with a height of 150 meters, consisting of pink skin capable of absorbing solar energy, turning it into a majestic lighthouse on the sea, and also a library and museum of history for the artifacts unearthed at Rhodes Island. However, the cost of statue is estimated to be very expensive, up to hundreds of millions of euros. The project to restore the sun god statue is still only a dream.
Lighthouse of Alexandria.
The Lighthouse of Alexandria, sometimes called the Pharos of Alexandria, was a lighthouse built by the Ptolemaic Kingdom of ancient Egypt, during the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus, 280 to 247 BC. It has been estimated to have been at least 100 meters in overall height. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, for many centuries it was one of the tallest man-made structures in the world. It took 12 years to complete at a total cost of 800 talents of silver, an ancient unit of money. Alexandria Lighthouse consisted of 3 floors. The lowest floor was square, 55.9 meters high and had a cylindrical column. The middle floor was octagonal with a side length of 18.3 meters and a height of 27.45 meters. The top 3rd floor was circular with a height of 7.3 meters. The inner cylindrical core was used as the fuel conduit for the fire at night. At the top of the tower, place a mirror that reflects light during the day. The Lighthouse of Alexandria had done its duty perfectly. During the day, sailors could use the lighthouse to navigate, and at night, they could safely spot a harbor. Thanks to the light emitted from here, this light could be seen from a distance of up to 55 kilometers. The lighthouse has great significance as its image has appeared on Roman coins. The lighthouse was partially cracked and damaged by earthquakes in 796 and 951, followed by structural collapse in the earthquake of 956, and then again in 1303 and 1323. Although the lighthouse no longer exists today, it has had a great influence on many fields. In the field of architecture, Alexandria Lighthouse is considered as a model to create many other lighthouse versions along the Mediterranean area and Spain at that time.
Thank you for watching the video. You are watching the video at Global Top Success Channel. If you find it interesting, remember to support the channel by liking, commenting and sharing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see the next interesting videos.